What is up, guys? My name is Zach. Hope you're all having a fantastic day and welcome to the Day 8 recap of the 2017 NBA playoffs. The first bit of news we have today isn't so great. Well, actually, none of the news we have to cover today is considered great news, but this is probably the most serious of all the news. The head coach of the Warriors, Steve Kerr, missed yesterday's Game 3 when his Warriors faced off against the Blazers due to an illness. Now, the Warriors organization did not say what was wrong, but simply put that he was ill. And that's because they didn't know what was wrong, nor do they know what is wrong with him right now. The only thing they know is that, quote, Kerr was in excruciating pain and could barely walk, which of course is never a good sign. So hopefully doctors can figure out whatever it is wrong with Kerr, and hopefully it is nothing too serious, but sending prayers and nothing but good wishes your way, Steve Kerr. Hope you get better soon. One of the craziest players in the NBA is Patrick Beverley, and I mean that in a good way. If I was in charge of drafting a team, I'd want him on it because I think you need a certain amount of crazy on your team to compete at a high level. And well, he will most definitely provide that craziness. Anyways, an incident between Beverley and the son of a minority owner in the Thunder is being investigated by the NBA. It all started when Beverley got knocked down on a fast break when he was attempting a layup in Game 3. He fell at the feet of Scaramucci, who seemingly bent over to say something to Beverley, which Beverley took exception to as he pointed at Scaramucci to the refs when he got up. Nothing was done by the refs about it, so Beverley took it to his own hands after the game by going over to Scaramucci and exchanging a few words with him before he was pulled away by Sam Dekker. And that's basically it. I don't think anything too serious will be done about this by the league. I don't see Beverley getting suspended or anything like that. The most I can see happening is a bit of a fine or something like that. And Beverley was asked about the incident and he said he's withholding his comments until after the investigation.
Can you tell us what happened that last, on the way off the court, the exchange with the fan?
The Rockets is taking care of the situation. I'll talk after the investigation is done.
Markieff Morris and Paul Millsap have had their fair share of exchanges so far this series. Millsap claiming that the Wizards have been playing MMA instead of basketball, saying that the refs are letting Morris and the rest of the Wizards get away with a lot of fouls, stuff like that. And after yesterday's Hawks vs Wizards game, I guess Markieff Morris had heard enough complaining from Millsap as he said this.
Good game. He did more for his team tonight. And me as a man, you take your wins with your losses. And I take my wins and my losses all the time. He just did more for his team. He's a crybaby. You get all the calls when you're a crybaby. That's how I went tonight.
He flat out went on national TV and called the man a crybaby. This is why I love NBA playoffs so much. Players are less likely to hold back. Millsap, I guess, did hold back a bit though. And I say he held back because when he first heard that he was called a baby, he didn't say anything for a solid 5 seconds.
Paul, do you feel like this matchup between you and Markieff is becoming personal? He just said in the locker room that you're a crybaby.
Oh my God, no. Oh. No.
It definitely got personal now, yes. I mean, I don't care. So what? Take his loss and go back to the hotel. Be ready for the next game.
And in those 5 seconds, what went through his head is what he really wanted to say. But then he was like, you know what? I'm on national TV. I can't say that, so let me say this instead. Game 4 should be interesting. Well, with the news out the way, we might as well pick up where we left off. The Hawks versus the Wizards. And Paul Millsap might have taken what Morris said personally. However, the entire Hawks team seemed like it took being down 2-0 to the Wizards in this series so far personally yesterday, as Atlanta came out firing on all cylinders yesterday, building a big lead in the first quarter and never letting Washington back into the game to end up with the 116-98 win. Paul Millsap did have the best game that he's played so far this series with 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists, and Dennis Schroeder also showed that while John Wall will most likely get the best of him in their head-to-head matchup in the series, he's not gonna simply be pushed over, as he had 27 points and 9 assists, while Wall was just about the only person on the Wizards that remembered how to make a shot last night. He had 29 points and 10 of 12 shooting as well as 7 assists. Best game of the playoffs so far? I don't know. This was really good, but at the same time, so was LeBron's Game 3 comeback against Indiana. Which one was better? I can't really say, but This is getting me really excited for the rest of the playoffs since we're only halfway through round 1 and we've already had a couple of legendary games. This one was pretty much a must win for Memphis, or else they would go down 3-1 against Spurs and the series will be basically over. And while the game was pretty good the entire way, let's just hop into the fourth quarter when it got really good. With 7 minutes left in the game, the Grizzlies had a 10-point lead. That of course doesn't mean much though in the playoffs or against the Spurs. Against the best of the best, a 10-point lead can be gone in like 90 seconds. And speaking of the best, Kawhi Leonard is one of the best without a doubt. And not just on the defensive end either. Offensively, believe it or not, Kawhi can be even scarier than he is defensively. Simply put, Kawhi went off last night. I mean, he was unguardable in the fourth quarter and in overtime, hitting tough shot after tough shot, bailing out Manu Ginobili, who hasn't hit a single shot in the series by the way, and the rest of the Spurs play after play. And honestly, the Grizzlies might as well just let Kawhi waltz up to the rim to collect his 2 points whenever he got the ball. And I'm not saying that like the Grizzlies weren't playing defense on him or anything, because they were. It just didn't matter. Kawhi was so hot that it would have taken a team full of Kawhis to try and counter Kawhi, and Kawhi still would have scored on the Kawhis. I mean, Kawhi scored, what was it, like 16 straight points for the Spurs and 24 in the fourth quarter and overtime combined? Crazy. And when a player is that hot for the other team, the only thing you can try to do to combat their scoring is with scoring. And luckily for the Grizzlies, Mike Conley was more than up to the task last night as he was able to hit a bunch of shots from Memphis on his way to finishing with a franchise playoff high 35 points. But it was in overtime that the biggest shot of all was made when Marc Gasol hit a 12-foot floater with just under a second left to go in the game to give Memphis the 110-108 win, despite Kawhi scorching them for 43 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 steals. What a performance and what a game. Great win for Memphis of course too. Like I said, Conley was phenomenal with 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, and Gasol hit the game winner at 12 rebounds as well. The series is now tied 2-2. I probably should have talked about that Spurs Grizzlies game last, because it's just gonna make the rest of these games seem pretty dry. The Raptors though seem to be the bounce back team. They'll have an off game and bounce right back to play much better their next game. This can't continue though if they want to get out the first round, because following that pattern, the Bucks will be the first team to reach 4 wins. But like I said, the Raptors bounce back. More specifically, DeMar DeRozan bounced back last night. After going 0 of 8 from the field in Game 3, DeRozan looked like his normal self again as he scored 33 points on 12 of 22 shooting to go along with 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals as Toronto gets the 87-76 win over Milwaukee to tie the series at 2 games apiece. Lowry was solid as well for Toronto last night, scoring 18, and Giannis had his first off game of the playoffs, only hitting 6 of his 19 attempts on the floor to go along with 9 rebounds. And you know, while Snell has had some pretty nice games here and there during the regular season, it's gonna be tough to win when he was your best offensive player during the playoffs. No Kevin Durant, no Steve Kerr, Portland on his home court, and Nurkic returned from his leg injury. Seemed like this was going to be a perfect game for Portland to get in the win column in the series. And in the first half, it truly seemed as if that would be the case. The Blazers were rolling offensively and were stopping the Warriors just enough on the defensive end. They had a lead as big as 17 in the first half when the score was 65-48. But these Warriors, man, once they get on a roll as a team, they are nearly impossible to stop. And that's what happened to the Blazers. You know, it's like a snowball effect, as the Warriors outscored the Blazers 65-46 in the second half to get the 119-113 win. Steph and Klay, the main offensive weapons for Golden State last night, of course. Klay with 24 and Steph had 34 points and 8 assists, and Draymond Green continues to be a 6'7" Hall of Fame rim protector as he had 9 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 6 blocks. Man does absolutely everything for that team. Nurkic of course wasn't able to play extended minutes in his first game back, only logged 17 but did have 11 rebounds during that time. McCollum scored 32 and Lillard had 31 for the Blazers. And that about wraps up all the action for the Day 8 recap of the 2017 NBA playoffs, and now it's time to get into the player of the day. Yesterday, you guys actually selected Kevin Garnett and his motivational speech as your player of the day. That's crazy. Here are today's nominees. You have Mike Conley and his 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. DeMar DeRozan and his 33 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals. Stephen Curry and his 34 points and 8 assists. Marc Gasol and his 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and the game winner. Or Paul Millsap and his 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. You guys can go vote for the player of the day right now by following the straw poll link down in the description box below. But other than that, thank you once again for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on it and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA. And until tomorrow, keep getting the Bucks, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!